Hello all. Since I have a microtonal Halberstadt keyboard, I'm creating scale videos for equal temperaments 11 to 19, since these are small enough to be played similarly to standard tuning. Each equal temperament has its own video and goes over 2 full scales in every key. I present what I think the most logical fingerings are based on various criteria. My goals were to try and preserve fingerings from standard 12 equal tuning to make logical decisions about scales that are in uncharted territory technique-wise, and to create similar fingerings for all scales so that less has to be learned. If you're a piano player and these scales don't make sense to you, I recommend you look at the 12 equal video I did on this to compare conventions, naming schemes, etc.
In new situations involving crossing the thumb to black keys, which is sometimes necessary in these new layouts, I stuck to 2 main principles. Firstly, I only cross from a black key to a black key when the thumb leads. As difficult as it is to cross to a black key, it's much better to cross from a black key to an adjacent black key than to cross to a black key from a white key. Secondly, I tried to cross onto black keys using finger 2 when possible. This is most effective in 3+3+2 finger groupings for 8-note scales. In the Sevenet scales I present here, or 7EDO, it's only convenient to do this with fingers 3 or 4, but the albitonic scale situations may use 2. Finger 2, that is. It's simply much less awkward because the hand doesn't have to scrunch up as much for the cross, and so it can afford to be less precise. If you would like the fingering charts, you can become a patron of my podcast at the link in the description. This is the video for piano fingerings in 14-tone equal temperament. The 2 scales I've picked to represent this tuning are the albitonic MODMOS of Hedgehog 8 and subset scale 7-tone equal temperament, or Sevenet. When I play a scale, I'll highlight the notes from the scale in pink. The tonic note will be a slightly darker shade of pink than the other highlighted keys from the scale. I'll play through 2 octaves to show how fingers cross into the next octave, and or how fingerings can be slightly changed at the ends of the scales to reduce crossing. Hedgehog is an 8-note scale with 6 large steps and 2 small steps. In a distributionally even arrangement, there would be 1 small step spread among each group of 3 large steps. But that layout alone would result in 2 separate 3 black key groups, making it too obtuse to tell octaves and half octaves apart without extra assistance. So instead, this is a MODMOS, MODMOS, or modified moment of symmetry of Hedgehog 8, where we still have 6 large steps and 2 small, but slightly unevenly. I'll be playing this mode, 2-2-1, 2-2-2-2-1. Since this MODMOS of Hedgehog 8 is an 8-note scale, our best 2 options are to split fingering groups into either 3+3+2 or 4+4, as may be done for the diminished scales in 12 equal. Luckily, almost all of our scales can be played with the same 4+4 fingering, shifted to different places. The only exceptions are pitch class 1 and pitch class 13, and this is because they are the 2 scales with groups of 4 black keys in a row. Pitch classes 1 and 13 can both be played with the same 3+3+2 grouped fingering. It would be possible to change these to cross to a black key on 2 instead of 3 at the expense of keeping the same fingering in both scales. So to summarize, there are 2 unique fingerings, one in 3+3+2 grouping for pitch classes 1 and 13, and one in 4+4 grouping for all the others. Sevenet is a subset of 14 TET. Its step spans 2 degrees of 14. I'll be playing its only possible mode, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. This is a transpositionally symmetrical scale, meaning that we only play 2 distinct forms, and can thus reuse the same fingering 7 times when starting at a different spot with the same notes. 7 TET has a similar keyboard feeling to playing whole tone scales in 12 TET, but with the heptatonic categorization of diatonic scales. For the distinct form using 3 white keys in a row and then 4 black keys, we must feature a fingering where the individual left and right hands come from different diatonic scales. The left hand plays C major fingering and its modes, while the right hand plays A flat major fingering and its modes. This combination ensures that the cross between black keys happens as centrally as possible in the 4 black key group, although other fingerings to avoid crossing to finger 4 between adjacent black keys are possible. For the other distinct form using 3 black keys in a row and then 4 white keys, we can use standard major scale fingerings, which is easier than using all 7 modes of one particular fingering like we had to do in the first form. Pitch classes 1 and 9 can use D flat major fingering, pitch class 3 can use B flat minor fingering, pitch classes 5 and 11 can use F major fingering, and pitch classes 7 and 13 can use B major fingering. Thanks for watching. If you would like to support giant, extravagant microtonal cover songs, keyboard arrangements of Easley Blackwood's microtonal etudes, microtonal podcasting, educational videos on ear training and modes, or my composition, you can donate to my Now and Zen Patreon account. It's much appreciated. Link is in the description. This video is made possible by my Zen Harmonic patrons, as well as my Zen Harmonic gods: Jun Dai Bates Kobashigawa, Naren Rattan, Mike Battaglia, Adam Freese, Matthew Sheeran, Hector McGuffin, Leland O. Weigel, Amy Coleman, Jill Weigel, and Tina Harmon Carteau. Thanks so much for listening. Catch you next time.